A couple of things we got to go over before we do take off today. Number one, please remain seated for the entirety of our tour. Do not stand up for any reason or go up on our back deck. Also, please refrain from any type of smoking or vaping for the next 55 to 60 minutes or 55 to 60 years. Completely up to you. Also, we are going to be coming close to some rocks and trees on our tour today, so if there's anything you brought on board with you that you'd like to take back home, small children, best friends, spouses, please keep all of that inside of the steel green beams or out there on the trails. However, we do get to the water, you can feel free to let it all hang out. So please keep in mind, though, this is a family tour. Also, in our 76 years of service, we've never once had to use one of these. Certainly don't plan on starting that off today. However, it is a United States Coast Guard regulation that you know how to use one before we take off. So these are the life jackets here. My absolute favorite shade of orange. All you have to do to put one on is separate in the middle. Goes like a backpack, one over each shoulder. You got two black buckles in the center there. Clip those across, pull it tight, and then you'll be set for a stylish float down the Wisconsin River. Should know this is the only life jacket that we have on board today, though. So in case of emergency, binning is going to start at $20 and go up as we go down. All proceeds going directly towards my tuition. It's obviously a joke, folks. We have 23 adult life jackets on board today up above your heads. There's 6 child life vests in the front by me for those weighing less than 50 pounds. If we did have a case of an emergency that we were going to don life jackets, I'd be sure to tell you first before we do that. If anyone point out to me we're in an emergency exits on board today, the guess is there. You guys got lots of options, front, back, side to side. Anywhere you don't see green steel, center out, tears down via those yellow straps above you. Trash can is located up here in the front. And my final question is, do you have any first-time duck riders on board today? Any first-timers? Alrighty, well, it's my first time too, so let's see how this goes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome aboard the amphibious Duck Rita. My name is Nate. I'm your tour guide pilot as well as alligator wrestler aboard today's 8.5-mile journey. So we'll be half on land, half on water, and if we get really lucky, maybe just a little bit in the air. Today's tour will consist of one part Wisconsin Dells history, one part Native American legend, and the last part what I like to call a little bit of food for thought. That's right, everybody, some great abalone, so I'm going to leave you to decide which is which and what is what. Our first point of interest is coming up on either side of the duck here today. We do have these hand-carved granite statues. Now, these statues once sat atop the Chicago Board of Trade building until 1932, when it was redecorated by a stick of dynamite. They were then purchased by Miss Helen Robb and brought out here to the Wisconsin Dells to decorate her home, Dawn Manor. Please do keep Miss Helen Robb and Dawn Manor in the backs of your minds, as I'm going to be bringing them up again a little bit later on in our tour today. However, I guess I'm really trying to say here is please don't take the statues for granites. Thank you. If you did not like that joke, it's been an awfully long tour for you, so that was my best tour. Just a couple of facts about the amphibious duck that we're all riding in today. Rita here was built back in 1942 by GM in Pontiac, Michigan, at a cost of around $10,000 to make. She was used in World War II and later parts of the Korean conflict, and her main purpose was to carry troops and supplies to shore. Rita is outfitted with a 5.9-liter Cummins turbo diesel engine that has 150 horsepower. She has 10 speeds in forward, 2 speeds in reverse, high and low range, 4 and 6-wheel drive. She's 9 feet tall, 8 feet 2 inches wide, 32 feet long, and she weighs in at a slim and slender 7.5 tons, which, if you ask me, kind of reminds me of my ex-girlfriend. Rita here is capable of speeds of up to 45 miles per hour on land, as well as a blazing 6 to 7 knots in the water. However, just the other day I took her out to see what she really could do, put the pedal to the metal, and I floored it, and actually achieved my personal best of about 200 miles per hour, right off the edge of this cliff. Yeah, did I lose anybody back there? Yeah, not this time, huh? Folks, if you do feel yourself falling overboard today, just make sure that you hang on tightly to the person sitting next to you. You can take them overboard as well, because I'm not required to stop for just one person.
Beta tỏi một chén có ở đây một chén to rồi nó tỏi dập lại rồi rồi từng mà lưng rồi từng mà lưng rồi
possibility that on the tour today we may be coming across some wildlife. So if I do happen to see a turkey or a deer, I'll try my best to point it out so we can all stare at it. However, in the rare occasion that we don't see any wildlife on the tour today, I'm going to have to do the next best thing, take my microphone off and hand it to whoever is sitting behind me. They can tell you all about their wildlife. And it does look like we have our first sign of wildlife on the left here. If you can all see that, it's actually just a baby. As if it could be on the left-hand side there. Check out the little baby stop sign down here on the left. Yeah, they're so cute when they're young. Would you look at that? We even found the mama stop sign. Also, everybody, please pay attention to this red danger sign here on the right, as we are now entering one of the more dangerous parts of our tour today, known as the S-turns. So the S-turns are a series of downhill 90-degree turns, and the trails do get pretty dangerous. So this time I'm required to ask you to please reach underneath your seats, grab the bright red safety belts, and go and buckle them across your waist, please. Did you guys find anything back there? I've been looking for this for the last 76 years, so let me know if you find one. However, I guess until then you're going to have to hold on. And just like that, we've now descended down into beautiful Fern Dell. You may see the ferns sprouting up on either side of us here on the trail. However, you may also notice a slight drop in temperature as we enter Fern Dell today. It's actually for two reasons. Number one, the lush canopy of trees above us does a good job of blocking out some of that sunlight. And number two, more importantly, the sandstone cliffs on either side of us lock in moisture and act as a natural air conditioner. So at any point in the day, it can be 10 to 12 degrees cooler down here in Fern Dell, which does make it the perfect temperature for those ferns to grow. It does also make us the coolest people in the Wisconsin Dells. Pacific Ocean. It's a lot smaller in person. However, as we enter the Wisconsin River today, make a little bumpy, so hold one hand, please brace the seat back in front of you, and with your other hand, plug your nose. And just like that, we're going to boat across the Wisconsin River, and if you look off on either side of the depth of the water, I've just disengaged our wheels, and they are now slowly sinking to the bottom. So we hope we don't need those later. There's a couple of facts about the Wisconsin River that we are going to be traveling down today. It's actually considered to be the hardest working river in the entire nation, as it does flow 432 miles diagonally across the state of Wisconsin through 27 different hydroelectric dams before it empties out into the Mississippi River at Prairie du Chien. Those 27 hydroelectric dams power over 200 communities here in the state of Wisconsin, and the very first dam ever installed on the river was right here in the Dells. That dam is called the Kilbourne Dam, located 2 miles upstream. Was built back in 1909, and it is the dividing mark between the upper Dells and the lower Dells. So today we're traveling down the lower Dells of the Wisconsin River. Rock formation on the tour today. So if you look at the left-hand side of the duck here and follow the shoreline down, You're going to see a mushroom-shaped rock sticking out from the trees down there. The rock is called pulpit rock. And the reason we call it pulpit rock is because there's an old story that says that there used to be a traveling preacher who gave his sermons out there on top of pulpit rock to the raftsmen that were passing by below. However, the preacher was a very long-winded preacher, and so naturally all the raftsmen became very bored, they fell asleep, and they floated on down the river. That did not make the preacher very happy though, so the very next day he went into town, he purchased a baby grand piano, he brought it out there on top of pulpit rock, and then for the next sermon he incorporated a little bit of music. However, as soon as he stopped playing the piano and started talking again, the raftsmen got very bored once more. They fell asleep again and they floated on down the river. This time he made the preacher so mad he jumped up and down on top of the rock until he completely split it in two, as you can see off on the left-hand side of the duck there. However, he jumped on there because he then took the baby grand piano and shoved it off the right-hand side of pulpit rock, where it's still sitting today with one leg propped up against pulpit rock and the keys facing the heavens. You guys should be able to see the baby grand piano on the right-hand side of pulpit rock there. And lots of people ask me, does the piano still play any music? The answer is yes, it does. However, for some reason, only hard rock.